Previously, a harrowing multi-car pileup on a snow-covered highway ensnares travelers, thrusting them into a nightmarish ordeal. Among them, Anna's world turns upside down when a hooded figure abducts her son, Tim, sparking a desperate chase into the depths of a mysterious cavern. Joined by her lifelong friend, Ella, Anna confronts a fearsome troll witch hag, known for her detachable head. Their grim situation takes a turn when an enigmatic root warden intervenes, whisking them away to a secluded balcony. From their elevated position, Anna and Ella became spectators to a surreal and macabre banquet below, orchestrated by trolls, which quickly devolved into a scene of unimaginable horror. They stumble upon a concealed treasure chamber where they acquire a golden horn. Venturing further into the labyrinth, they come face to face with a sinister and mysterious entity. A sense of foreboding filled the air, and Anna couldn't shake the feeling that something unsettling was lurking in the shadows. She could hear faint movements, a disconcerting whisper of life in a place steeped in death. Ella, her flashlight cutting through the oppressive darkness, confirmed their suspicions. There was indeed movement, a sinister presence lurking just beyond the reach of their feeble light. From the depths of the darkness, a figure emerged, a hooded, sinister, and enigmatic presence that sent shivers down their spines. This mysterious entity moved with an unsettling grace, and his dark red eyes gleamed in the darkness with an unknown intent as he lowered his cloak, revealing glistening dark grey skin, long white hair, and pointed ears. Introducing himself as Eneki, the dark elf proclaimed, "I can help you find your child," his voice resonating with chilling confidence. Anna's gaze locked onto him, a mixture of hope and suspicion filling her eyes. Something about him felt familiar, and she needed answers. As she pondered deeper, a flash of recognition struck her, and she lunged at him, only to be blocked by Ella, a fortunate intervention. The dark elf swiftly pointed a sword at her throat. The tip inadvertently nicked Ella's finger. She let out a loud expletive in response as it echoed through the prison. Anna's fury echoed through the chamber like a thunderous storm as she demanded answers about her missing child. In the midst of her desperation, Eneki stepped forward, his presence commanding attention in the dimly lit space. With an air of solemnity, he began to speak. "I sought to intervene before the trolls could unleash their savage massacre upon your people," Eneki explained, his voice tinged with regret. "Yet, the ferocity of the snowstorm impeded my arrival, leaving me with precious little time. I managed to extract your son, knowing that you would follow the trail I left behind. However, as I approached the cave entrance, I fell into a brutal confrontation with the very troll witch hag that had crossed your path earlier." His words hung heavy in the air, laden with the weight of past struggles and lost battles. "Despite my efforts, she overpowered me," Eneki continued, his tone tinged with a hint of resignation. "In the chaos of our clash, she seized your child and vanished into the depths of the mountain. I concealed myself in the shadows, biding my time and awaiting your arrival. I had the unrestrained root warden silently guard you from the shadows, serving as your protector, and guide you to this sanctuary when it was safe to do so." As he spoke, Anna's anger began to give way to a flicker of hope, mingled with a sense of urgency. "Why bring us here?" she asked, her voice laced with determination. Eneki's gaze softened, a glimmer of compassion shining through the darkness. "This treasury, this prison, and the catacombs beyond are the only sanctuaries hidden beneath this mountain," he explained. "Shielded by ancient elven magic, they remain invisible to the trolls, a refuge amidst the chaos that surrounds us. I harbour no fondness for these trolls," he confessed, his gaze piercing through the darkness with an intensity born of bitter experience. It was here, in the heart of this mountain. They invaded my home and slaughtered my people without mercy. The trolls possess a vulnerability, Eneki continued, his tone softening slightly as he sought to impart his knowledge. They are sensitive to loud, blaring sounds or the ringing of bells. It is a weakness that you can exploit to your advantage. When I give the signal, you'll recognize it instantly. Anna and Ella, it's crucial that you eliminate the troll witch hag. It is the only chance to escape this place with your son. Anna and Ella exchanged puzzled glances, their minds racing with the implications of Eneki's words. Before they can ask any questions, Eneki interrupts. "You must retrace your steps," he urged, his voice tinged with urgency. "Your child is close by, and time is of the essence. Remember the signal. Now I must remain hidden in the shadows, for my own safety and yours." Though Anna remained wary, a sense of grim determination settled over her. With no other viable options before them, she knew that she had no choice but to heed Eneki's guidance. Amidst the grotesque revelry, the consort, Einar, announced a surprise of grand proportions, a revelation that lay at the heart of the banquet's sinister purpose. With an air of pomp and circumstance, he unveiled the reason behind the gathering. And then, in a moment that shattered Anna's heart, her worst fears materialized. With regal fanfare, Tim was introduced into the hall, presented as the intended adopted son of the Huldra princess Ingrid. Despair gripped Anna's soul, and her anguished cry echoed through the hall as she shouted, "No!" Her voice cut through the eerie festivities, a stark contrast to the eerie glee that had permeated the banquet. The trolls, their attention abruptly diverted from their gruesome entertainment, turned their malevolent gazes upon the unexpected guests. The atmosphere in the hall shifted, teetering on the edge of chaos, as the grotesque revelry threatened to take a more sinister turn. "I see we have some unexpected guests. Bring them here to me, Grom," commanded the consort. Anna and Ella found their predicament taking a harrowing turn. Grom, the colossal troll, fueled by an unimaginable strength, shattered through the stone balcony and seized Ella and Anna on either hand with an iron grip. In a moment of sheer instinct and terror looking for something to stab the massive hand, Ella fumbled in her bag, clutching the golden horn, remembering what the dark elf had spoken of, and blew into it with all her might in the direction of this monstrous colossus. The horn's piercing sound reverberated through the hall, a cacophony that sent shockwaves of agony into the giant troll's very being. The troll began to vibrate violently, cracking spiderwebbing across its colossal form. The creature disintegrated before their eyes, leaving Ella and Anna to fall toward the unforgiving floor below. The entire court was thrown into a state of terror and paralysis. Grom, the troll's champion, is now a pile of rubble. The consort's voice trembled as he demanded, "Where did you get that golden horn? It's been lost for centuries." Ella summoned every ounce of courage within her. She defiantly raised the horn high above her head, her voice laced with fierce determination, as she declared, "I'm the badass around here now. I'll murder all of you if you don't give us the child." The trolls, their menacing facade momentarily shattered, exchanged perplexed glances. The audacity of these humans had thrown them into disarray, and fear crept into their monstrous hearts, rendering them motionless. Anna, fueled by maternal love and desperation, surged forward to reclaim her son. With unwavering resolve, she pried Tim from the princess's grip and forcefully shoved the princess to the ground, her eyes blazing with a fiery determination to protect her child. With heavy emotions, she held her son tightly. But in a cruel twist of fate, fortune changed hands once more. Another colossal troll, stealthily lurking in the shadows, swiftly closed in on Ella. With a menacing grin, it seized the horn, away from Ella. Laughter erupted among the trolls as they revelled in the spectacle. With that fateful act, the princess seized the opportunity to regain her advantage. She pushed Anna to the ground with a force that sent shockwaves through her, and in the blink of an eye, the princess reclaimed Tim, snatching him from Anna's grasp. Ella consoled Anna, who was torn between anguish and desperation, her heart heavy with the crushing weight of defeat. A root warden was sent to immobilize them from escaping. The troll witch hag glided alongside them, her sinister intent clear in her wicked gaze. She proposed, "Consort, I will take these two for my new experiments." The consort, still seething with anger, rarely seen in this demeanour, refused the troll witch hag's request. Instead, he decreed that Anna and Ella should be made examples of, a punishment for their role in ruining the festivities and for causing the death of their champion and the indignity caused to his princess's honour. With cruel intent, the hag gripped Anna's earlobe and clipped off its end. A shiver of pain coursed through her, and blood began to trickle from the wound. The metallic scent of her blood hung heavy in the air, and it seemed to awaken a dormant, primordial instinct within the troll crowd, further heightening the tension and dread that gripped the scene. Then, in a sudden and unexpected turn of events, the alarm on Ella's phone, from her back pocket, blared loudly. Suddenly she recalled the signal that Aneki had mentioned. Its incessant, piercing beeping immobilized the trolls in their tracks. Some dropped to their knees, clutching their ears in agony. It was an excruciating and tormenting experience for them, as the relentless noise penetrated their senses. The troll witch hag, too, found herself overwhelmed by the unbearable sound. Her ghastly-looking head detached, falling to the ground in agony, unable to endure the deafening assault on her senses. Following Aneki's words, Anna swiftly retrieved the detestable head, holding it above her gaze to avoid its terrifying visage. Despite the slimy, repulsive sensation in her hands, she sprinted toward the fireplace with unwavering determination, where a roaring fire crackled and danced. Without hesitation, she flung the head into the fiery abyss. A blood-curdling scream emanated from the burning head as it was consumed by the flames. Its torment mirrored in the hag's shrieks of anguish. With the death of the troll witch hag, a transformation rippled through the troll community. The binding on the root wardens was shattered, not only within the confines of the cavern, but throughout the troll domain. The root wardens, finally freed from their enchantment, began to regain their senses, their desire to leave the troll domain overpowering their previous loyalty to the trolls. They abandoned their positions, leaving the trolls in chaos and disarray. The incessant ringing of the phone continued to exert a bizarre and unsettling effect on the trolls. Those near the epicenter began to froth at their mouths, their eyes gleaming with blind rage, as though they were undergoing a transformation into berserkers, reminiscent of Viking warriors preparing themselves for battle. Ella held her phone aloft, cranking up the volume to its maximum output until a chair was hurled in her direction, forcing her to swiftly duck and evade the object. Unfortunately, her phone was not as lucky, and it clattered to the floor, shattering into pieces as a result. During the troll's blind rage, chaos erupted within the cavern. The once elegant banquet hall devolved into a nightmarish battleground. Trolls turned on each other in a frenzy of violence, no longer distinguishing between friend and foe. The cacophony of destruction and the terrifying screams echoed through the chamber. Anna, Ella, the rest of the human survivors and the root wardens seized this chaotic opportunity to make their escape. They sprinted through the twisted passages of the troll realm, their hearts pounding with urgency. The ominous sounds of the pursuing trolls reverberated behind them, their roars and thunderous footsteps closing in with every passing moment. Finally, they burst through the hidden passage that led to the surface, gasping for breath as they emerged into the cold, overcast daylight. Once in the surface, the root wardens and human survivors were met with a sprawling expanse of grazing elk that seemed to stretch endlessly into the horizon. With a sense of urgency, they mounted the elk, using them as makeshift steeds to increase their haste. The massive herd of elk acted as a buffer between them and the relentless troll pursuers, shielding them from immediate danger. The destination at the edge of the trolls' dominion became their beacon of hope, a glimmer of safety amidst the relentless pursuit. Every second was crucial as they pressed forward, the trolls' thundering footsteps growing closer. The trolls, driven to madness by the chaos below, were relentless in their pursuit, fueled by a savage hunger for revenge. As the group raced through the unforgiving landscape, their hearts pounded with a relentless sense of urgency. With horrifying strength, the trolls began hurling mangled car parts, enormous boulders, and massive tree trunks at the fleeing caravan. The sky became a chaotic tempest of deadly projectiles as these monstrous beings unleashed their destructive wrath. The ceaseless barrage of flying debris obstructed the path of the desperate survivors, striking or crushing both people, root wardens, and elk alike, leaving a trail of destruction and chaos in its wake. Ahead, a massive group of trolls loomed, their grotesque forms casting a dark shadow over the already grim landscape. It was an ominous blockade that brought the entire convoy to a shuddering halt. The trolls had effectively encircled them, leaving the desperate survivors trapped between the relentless pursuit from behind and the nightmarish horde ahead. Deep within the heart of the trolls' lair, a dramatic confrontation was unfolding. The dark elf, shrouded in shadows and mystery, finally revealed himself to the sinister consort. Einar, his eyes fixed on the dark elf, recognized him with a mixture of surprise and trepidation. "I should have known you were behind this, Eneki. You are a coward for having two female humans do your bidding," he hissed, a twisted smile curling on his lips. With a mere gesture, he signaled his loyal bodyguards to engage the intruder, their grotesque forms lunging forward with murderous intent. Eneki, a shadowy figure in the dimly lit chamber, moved with breathtaking precision, a living embodiment of darkness itself. With each calculated step, he dispatched the lesser trolls one by one, his movements fluid and deadly. He seamlessly transitioned, cloaked from one shadow to another, striking with ruthless efficiency, severing necks and striking from behind. Trolls, known for their resilience, stood no chance against the dark elf's merciless onslaught. With the aid of these abominations you call Root Warden, you have driven my people from this mountain, just as you killed my father. With a single chilling signal, two sinewy Root Wardens emerged from the surrounding shadows, their twisted forms ensnaring Einar's limbs in an unbreakable grip. Eneki, embodying a vengeful force of nature, sprang into action, severing the consort's head with a single, decisive strike. The lifeless body crumpled to the ground, its reign of terror finally brought to an end. With the gauntlet, symbol of rulership over the trolls, now in his possession, Eneki declared himself the new leader of this dark realm. The balance of power forever shifted. The chamber seemed to hold its breath as the dark elf stood victorious, his path of revenge finally realized in the flickering shadows of the troll's lair. Eneki then turned his attention to the trembling princess and the boy in her arms, a sinister smile playing on his lips. The situation outside the mountain grew increasingly dire. Anna, inconsolable over escaping without her son, the people terrified, and the elks abandoned them, while the Root Wardens, dwindling in number due to the relentless troll assault, found themselves halted and exhausted, encircled by the bloodthirsty berserker trolls, looking even more formidable. However, a sudden turn of events unfolded as the troll princess arrived, driving a white sleigh with the boy, Tim, seated beside her, accompanied by gnome-like Nissa servants. Anna's eyes welled with tears of happiness as she saw her son. The princess signalled for peace and waved for the furious trolls to back away. In a deeply moving moment, mother and son are finally reunited, marking a poignant culmination of their ordeal. "I come to speak with the humans, Anna and Ella," the regal declared. Confusion painted both women's faces as they simultaneously asked, "Why the sudden change?" "I relinquish my title as princess. I now serve as an emissary for our new ruler, the dark elf Eniki," she declared proudly, her head held high. Anna and Ella exchanged bewildered glances once more. "I assure safe passage for the humans and the root wardens, and I pledge to return Tim to you, Anna," she continued, her voice steady. "However, Ella must accompany me back under the mountain. She has been chosen to be the bride of our new monarch." Ella's immediate response was resolute. "Hell no, I'm not going anywhere with you." To which the emissary calmly responded, "You are no longer entirely human, just like the humans who partook in their last meal at the banquet hall. You can never return to your world. Even if you tried, you cannot go back. Those are the rules." Ella's heart raced as she reached up to touch her face, only to be met with the shock of feeling long, pointed ears where none existed before. After a moment of stunned silence, the realization dawned on her. "It must have been when that wretched dark elf grazed my finger," she murmured, her mind racing with the implications. Perhaps it was laced with dark magic. The root wardens confirmed Ella's irreversible transformation, dashing her hopes of returning home. She felt the changes coursing through her body, a painful reminder of her altered fate. Ella and Anna clung to each other, tears streaming down their faces as they exchanged heartfelt goodbyes. "Tell my sister and uncle that I'll be continuing to travel for a while. I cannot say when I will return," Ella whispered, the weight of her newfound reality and the impending separation weighing heavily on her heart. She remembered her purse filled with gold coins. "Please, share this with my family," she added, tears glistening in her eyes. In a poignant moment, Anna and Tim bid farewell to their beloved friend Ella. As they faded into the distance, Ella continued to wave back, her mind swirling with thoughts about her future and the fiery retort she had in store for the deceitful dark elf. The root wardens led the rest to the edge of the convergence between the human world and the troll's realm. "Do not attempt to return," they cautioned. "You shall not find this place again. This convergence of worlds is a rarity, brought forth by an unknown and powerful being, to what end we do not know. This realm shall remain hidden, unless that same mysterious force wills it otherwise." Inside a dimly lit cave, a hooded figure steps in, removing the hood to reveal Eneki, the dark elf, standing on a precipice. Before him, a massive, shadowy cavern comes into view. A moment later, a colossal, monstrous figure emerges in silhouette in the distance. Eneki stands in reverent respect and speaks. "It is done, my lord. Your plan has succeeded. The portal is now closed. The human child, now replaced by a changeling, resides with Anna, the human child's mother. The trolls are in disarray, and it may awaken the Troll Mountain King at any moment." The monstrous entity responds, "Very well. Now you may proceed to the next phase of the plan. The god of thunder must be coaxed out of his seclusion." Back at Anna's residence in New York, the sound of Tim's laughter and playful chuckles filled the air. The first time ever since the stark contrast to the silent, fearful child they had known since their return from the frightful experience. Anna and her husband rushed to check on him, their hearts warming at the sight. To their surprise, they found Tim engrossed in a comic book. He suddenly threw the comic onto the floor, revealing the page, The Mighty Thor. Tim had taken a red crayon and scribbled over Thor's head, obliterating the iconic character. Anna's husband couldn't hide his disappointment as he remarked, "Anna, why did you let him touch my comics? That was a collector's item." Little did they know that this seemingly mischievous act hinted at a deeper truth. That Tim was not the same child who came back from the troll realm,